Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We're going to take a look at our Iron Grenadiers here, and a very exciting release, at least for me, and sorry in advance, I am sick, so I may sound nasally or I may start coughing and dying, but that's okay. But yeah, like I was saying, Iron Grenadiers, are starting to get them. I mean, technically, our first Iron Grenadier release was Metalhead here, and as you can see, we do have a little emblem here, sort of logo of Destro. But yeah, he is part of that Iron Grenadiers unit, so I'll just put him off to the side over here, why not? And we'll bring along our vintage one here. I do have a vintage version of him. I still have to clean up like his head sculpt. I don't know what happened to this guy. I mean, that's what you get when you buy off, you know, secondary markets. But yeah, for some reason there's like some gunk in the visor, so I still have to clean that out. I've been meaning to, but I just haven't been able to get around to it. And yeah, so expect a future video comparing our vintage to the classified counterpart here. But yeah, looking at the packaging here, we do have the name up here, we have that nice logo there, classified series, the figure and accessories, and then the number. We have a nice portrait here with like the pink purple, which I do really like. I don't know, it just makes the character sort of stand out with all that black. A few details here, you know, zooming in, there's the Iron Grenadiers logo and some detail on the sculpt. You have the blue over here, but yeah, you have a nice portrait of him there, sort of a digital render with an army of Iron Grenadier bats. I have seen those at GameStop. I don't think I'm gonna pick up the Iron Grenadier bats. I haven't picked up the there's another version I didn't pick up. I just don't need that many bats anymore. But yeah, got lucky and found this guy at GameStop too. I found him the first time, then he sold out, and then I saw two of them again at this GameStop, and I was like, oh my god, my lucky day. So yeah, very fun. I can see there's some reuse, a lot of reuse, but some new stuff here and there. So we'll take a look at that. With that being said, let me open them up. Now, unfortunately, we don't get any sort of unique sort of backdrop in the packaging here. They are Iron Grenadiers, but I mean, they're also part of Cobra, so you know, it's just a unit within Cobra. It would have been cool to see a nice, unique backdrop. But seeing all the accessories here, yeah, everything is reused for the most part. We'll just get into it right away, because some of these are warped, unfortunately. I don't like the sort of plastic tray thing, because it does tend to warp stuff. But you can see the pistol here is slightly warped, and we saw this with Destro way back when Classified started. But there's that pistol again. Honestly, a nice skull, but it's kind of cool to see this one again. This is also one of Destro's sort of guns that he came with when he released. Nice gold layer touch for the gun. This one does feel pretty sturdy, so that's very nice to feel. We have this one that came originally with Big Ben, the Night Force Big Ben removable mag and folding grip there. The double barrel, which a lot of people don't like. It is slightly warped here towards the end, and honestly not too flimsy. It's kind of sturdy, so can't complain there. This one is always warped for me. This one mold is always warped, as you can see there, so I might have to heat some of these up. But yes, you do have the functioning bipods here and the removable mag with gold plated Hamo belts in there. So yeah, Destro goes all out with the gold. So it just plugs right in. But yeah, you also can port Blastafix on it. It is a little sturdy. It's just this end here is very flimsy, and the stock over here, so it's a bit unfortunate. We do have this sword again, which we saw with our Crimson Guards before. I think it's the same one. Yep, same old, same everything, same sword as well. So we've seen this one before, but again, this one is just all warped to hell, unfortunately, and hopefully it's easy to. Oh god, that's a bit tough because yeah, this is warped, so that means the sword gets warped and it's hard to get out. But it's a nice gold blade. It looks very nice. But yeah, it is warped. I can see it. You know, I don't know how well that shows off in camera, but it is warped, unfortunately. So, and the sheaths are typically harder to sort of straighten out. But yeah, a bit unfortunate. But yeah, that was what happened with mine. And I checked the other one too to see how warped it is. Both just seem to be completely warped. And you couldn't really see this in the packaging, you know, because it's underneath. It's hidden. It was hidden by this cardboard piece here, so I couldn't tell if this was warped either. So, bit unfortunate. But here's the helmet here, nicely sculpted, nice gold paint there. Looks very cool. Comparing it here to our vintage one, pretty similar, almost the same. But yeah. Those are our accessories. Now let's move on to the figure. Pushing everything else aside, let's take a look at this guy. Now there is some reuse, I did mention that, and it's mostly from, I want to say the arms are reused. I think these were, what's his name, scrap iron. New torso though, and the legs are definitely reused from Crimson Guard, as you can see here. Same legs, same mold, same boots, so that's the same. But yeah, in terms of design, this guy just screams a certain German political war party that may or may not have been part of World War II. Those are the vibes I get off of this guy, which I mean, I'm not complaining. He looks cool, and then it really does stray from the vintage look. A few aspects here and there are still the same, but yeah, this just is like a newly updated design for this guy here, and I'm not complaining. Like I said, I do like how it looks. I like the design of him. I like that sort of imagery with that German political war party. So just looking at a lot of details here. Gold paint for a lot of the buttons. You have the skull here at the belt. You have like a dual belt system. So you have that buckles painted too. You have this thing that wraps around. You have a holster back here and another holster back here. Some gold here and red. There's that nice Iron Grenadiers logo. And then you have just the red stripes around certain trim areas, going all the way up here. And then you do have a sort of like gem here, necklace. They're sort of like Destro, and then more gold paint. You have a sculpt here which looks amazing. Nice silver detail, sort of a wire, and more like sort of breathing apparatuses. You have the visor, more gold paint there, and silver that goes all the way around, and more gold. So yeah, just full of detail, and I really do love how he looks. And articulation wise, he also articulates pretty well. It's pretty smooth, so he goes out about that much. You have butterfly joints, they function somewhat, and then you have your bicep swivel. You have your double jointed knees, not knees, elbows. And the arms are a bit tricky because this is what I don't like about Classified so far. They haven't figured out their hand hinges either. It just goes in way too deep into the sculpt, and you can't hardly ever like move it up or down or side to side. So here it's supposed to be a vertical hinge that goes up and down, but it's so deep in there it can barely move. And same on this side, it's supposed to be a side to side, but it's just way too deep in there, it can barely even move. So that's a bit unfortunate. Hopefully they can figure that out. You do have your waist swivel as any other classified. You can pivot and stuff, rotate. You can crunch forward and back. You can kick forward about that much. If skirts or the skirt is going to get in the way somewhat, but not too much. I mean, going outward about that much. You don't need them to do that much. He's a soldier after all. Upper thigh cut. The knees are a little tight on mine. See, that's one joint there. I'm trying to get the other one to function too, to see how far we can take it. And again, the skirt gets in the way, but some good range. Boot swivel there, and then the feet do go back and forward, and then they do have ankle rocker, and you can see some more of that gold there at the buckle of the boot. Looking very cool. And yeah, I mean, he does have storage options like we saw. So we do have his helmet here, and that completes the look. I do love how that looks. Very interesting they made that an option, but I just appreciate it. You know, it's an option for some. I certainly do like it. I mean, it kind of goes into the whole diorama thing of it. You know, if he gets shot in the head, it can pop off and whatnot. So it could make for some cool animations. You know, people who do animations with classified, that's an idea for you guys. I don't really know where these necessarily go. I assume the smaller pistol might go in this holster as such, and then the bigger one will go in here, and the scope kind of goes over the holster there. So you have storage for those two guns, but no storage for your two other rifles, and you do have storage for your sheath or sword. Oops. You have a little hole here, so all you have to do is plug this in. But yeah, it's just so warped, I don't want to put the sword back in there. But you can kind of see how that's gonna look. But yeah, looks fantastic to me. And let's just give him this gun here. Get him in a quick pose. And yeah, the head articulation, you can't look up all that too well. So maybe going in with an X-Acto knife and sort of taking some of the plastic away. But there he is in a nice little simple pose there. If I can get him to stand. Sort of aiming ahead. There we go. Yeah, looks terrific to me. And here's some comparisons with Destro, which at this point we all know that the Iron Grenadier version of Destro will be coming soon at some point. We have our vintage, we have Metalhead here, and then, I mean, he won't fit in there, but the Crimson Guard, like I said, just because he shares a lot of the legs portion with the Crimson Guard. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for my review. I really do like this figure. I need to start giving them ratings in my videos. I just forget, you know, to implement a rating system. I think from my experience, I'm gonna give them it's gonna tough to say, but rating out of 5, I think I give them a 3. The warpedness with the guns is unfortunate, and that does bring down some points to it, especially with the sheath and the sword. I mean, you can see how bent that looks right there. Unfortunate, but yeah, I gotta like go in and reheat them up. The hands not being able to move very well is another point loss for me, I think. But aesthetically, he looks amazing, and with, you know, these sort of accessories, he just looks great, stands out. But yeah, I really do want to army build of this guy, but we'll see how that goes. You know, because there's so many other figures to buy right now. At the same GameStop, there was about 3 of the retro packaged Cobra Troopers, and I think 2 Stalkers. So those are also figures I'm interested in and trying to get. So, you know, there's a lot out there right now, and I definitely recommend going to GameStop. They're just loaded to the teeth with G.I. Joe stuff at the moment. They even have the Cobra Stingers. I've seen a few at this point. So yeah, I just recommend heading into GameStop and seeing what you can find. But yeah, that's enough rambling from me. I got another review to do. We're gonna look at Alpine next. But yeah, that does it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a future video.